Okay, I think let's start with this stuff. And inshallah, we are going to end this CO2. Previously, we saw the instance method. And in the instance method, we saw the accessor and the mutator methods. Then we saw the definition of the abstract method and the factory methods. Now it's time to go with this topic of we have the keyword static, and we saw this keyword previously, but didn't see it in detail. We only used this static keyword with the methods on previous slides, but now we will see how you can use the static keyword with variables, methods, blocks, or nested classes. This is again mentioned in this diagram that if you want to use this static keyword, you can use it with variables, nested classes, methods, or blocks. And from our previous knowledge, we know that static is something which is if something is static, you can say that belongs to the class and not with the object of the class. Previously, if you just remember, then I told you that when there is some static method, then you cannot call that static method with the object of a class. You have to use the name of the class to call that static method. So you are still in this class. But I didn't see you in the earlier lectures. Last week? I think you were absent for many days, not only 1 week. I am seeing you for the first time, maybe. No. Okay. So this keyword belongs to the class and not to the instance of the class. It means that if there is some static, especially the method, then you don't need an object of the class to access that static thing. You need the name of the class to access that static thing. We will see. Now we will go with one by one with all these things. So first is Java static variable. So in your program, you can introduce a static variable. What is, for example, this is the class student starting from here, and I hope that it will end here. And then you have these variables, int roll number, int roll number, string name. So these are the fields of this class, you know that. And then we have another variable, string, and the variable name is college, and we are giving some value into it, which is a string, its. And we are making it static. So this is the way how you can introduce a static variable. Okay. Now what will happen? So all these three are now fields of this class, our data member. So now what this program is doing, just, okay, give me a minute. Okay, values are assigning and then displaying, assigning and displaying. So this program, which has the name student, in this program is taking the name and the roll number of a student and then displaying it on the screen, nothing else, using normal fields and the static field and the static variable, you can say. Okay, then here we have the constructor because it has the same name as the name of the class, and you are passing two arguments into it, the R and the N. And then this R will be assigned to this roll number, which is this variable, and this N is assigned to this name, which will be this variable. And then we have the, okay, now this method is ended. We have the display method now, which will simply display the roll number, the name, and the college variable. And then this is for the space between them. Like you are seeing space here, space here. Okay, now we have the public class test district variable. So this is now we have, so it means that this is the end of this student class, okay? And now we have another class. Class is test static variable starting from here and ending here at this red line. And then we have the main method. You know, public static void main. This is something I already explained one by one what these words are. And now this is the starting of this method. And here it is ending. And here we are creating what? Objects. Good. So here, student is this one. So we are creating object for this class, not for this class, okay? So student S1, and now we have this object, and right-hand side is saying what? New student, and we are passing two values or arguments into it. So this is what, basically? This is what? Yes, please. No. No. This is basically a constructor. You are calling a constructor with two arguments. So anyhow, so student 111 current. So okay, where I will, so this S1 will access the information which is available in the student. So okay, I will go into the students. And this is the student with two arguments. So this value 111 will be copied into this R, and this current will be copied into this N, which will be further assigned to these roll number and name. And these roll number and name are, you can access through this object. So now this information is available in this S1. And similarly, 222 Aryan, for this, again, this constructor will be called, values will be assigned, and this information will be available in this S2. And now you can just display the values. S1.display. So S1 is this object. S1 then display. Through this object S1, you can access any information which is available in the student method. So now I am going to access this display method. So S1.display, and then you will display the values which are available in this S1. You will display the values, roll number, name, and college which are available in S1. So initially you gave 111 and current in S1, and but so then what? Roll number, 111, name, current will be displayed. But what would be the value for the college? You have not given any value to the college. This value you already assigned here, okay? This value you already assigned here in this field portion of this student class. So that value will be displayed automatically for this college variable ITS. And similarly, when you display S2.display, okay, then this 222 for the S2. So roll number is now 222 for the S2. Name is what? Aryan for the S2. And similarly, college is same again, the same. So static variable is a variable which will be available from the starting of your program to the ending of the program. Final is something which you cannot change. This variable, you can change the value of this variable. But if you will put the final here, final static string, then it means that you cannot change the value of this variable. Whatever the value you will give initially, that will be available from the beginning to the ending of the program. But this static, you can change. Okay? So now moving next, Java static method. We already did this on slide 40. Okay, we can go, for example, what is a method with a static keyword is known as static method. A method with static keyword. And a static method can access static variables. Here data members mean static variables, static fields of the class. Like you have here, counter is the class, and this count which is 0, which is integer and static. So this is some kind of a variable, but here in this class it is a field and it is static. And this variable, if you have static method, that static method can access this variable. And there are two restrictions for the static methods. Static methods cannot use non-static data, non-static variables, fields, etc., etc. And static methods cannot call non-static methods directly. Indirectly, they can call, but not directly. Okay, this is the information. Further, this keyword this and the keyword super, you cannot use these two keywords in the static methods. And this static method, example of static method we did at slide 40. If I will go back, I will show you somewhere that you have did this. Okay. You can see this is user-defined topic, and here find even odd is a static method. Okay, even this main method is a static method, but anyhow, leave that example. But this find even odd is a static method. Maybe we have also, this show is also a static method. So we already did this static method declaration, and the topic is also static method declaration. And then, okay, now we are here. So that's why it is written here, done on slide 40. So you only have to go there and visit that slide again for static methods. For static methods. Static methods will have the static keyword before them. And static method can access static fields or static variables. What are the other things that you have to remember? Static method cannot use, okay, leave it. You can say static method can access static fields, then it is for this sentence. And static methods cannot use the keyword this and the super. Anyhow, see this example now. This is not the example of static method, but it is an example of a static variable. Static variable. But let's see. But this is not an example of a static method. Okay, keep this in mind. Example of a static method is where this one, static void show. This is an example of a static method because the show is the method and the keyword is static. And similarly, this is an example of a static method We have the find even odd, which is a method, and it has the keyword static. But this is not an example of a static method. But let's see what it is saying. So the name of the class is counter, starting from here, and then this is a constructor, then the main method, and class is ending here. What is this program is doing? So this program is just taking a value of a static variable and then incrementing the value of that variable by using the object creation statement. So let's see now. So we have the variable count, which is integer and it is static, and we are giving the initial value to it as a 0 in this field part. And then counter2, which is the name of the class, which is the name of this counter2 class, but here it is a constructor, starting from here, ending here. And in this constructor, you are doing what? You are first incrementing the value of this count. If it is 0, after executing this statement, it will become how? What? 1. And then system.out.println, and then you are simply printing the value of this count variable. Okay. And then the main method starting from here and it is ending here. And then here you are creating objects, nothing else. So counter2, which is the name of the class, C1 is the name of the object, is equal to new counter2. So this is called to the constructor, and this is default constructor is available. So it will be called due to this statement. When it will be called, first, if you have the default constructor, due to this right-hand statement or due to this constructor, if you have the default constructor, we know that if it is a constructor without argument is called a default constructor. This is the definition for the default constructor. If default constructor is available in your source code, then it is okay. If it is not, then what will happen? What is the use? I'm not asking the use of default constructor. I'm asking if now this default constructor is available in the program. But if it is not available, and when you will run the program, what will happen? The compiler will automatically create that default constructor into your program. And that's why that default constructor normally used to initialize the values for your fields. And this is the default constructor. When it will start running, it will initialize the value of this variable count to 0. And then it will call this counter2. And here you are incrementing the value of count, which will become from 0 to 1. And then you are displaying the value of that count, which is now 1 is displaying. And then here again, counter C2 new counter2. So now you are creating another statement. You are creating another object, but here it is a static variable. Static variable only come into existence only once, not again and again. It is not a normal variable. So in the previous call here for C1, it is already initialized. So now it is, I told you, static variable exists from the beginning of the program to the end of the program. So now when it was initialized previously with this object statement call, now it is available. That count is available. Previously, you did some increment and you display the value, and that's why you are seeing 1 here. So now variable count with value 1 is existing in your program. And here you are creating another object. And that object again will access count. So then now it is not initialized with 0. The value is the previous value because it is existing. So the count with value 1 is now existing. in the previous step. In the previous step, the variable count with value 1 is existing. Now you are calling this again. Okay, it will be called, you are incrementing the value. So from 1, it will become 2. And then you are displaying the value which is displayed here. And similarly for this statement, it is again calling this counter 2, incrementing the value which will become 3 from the previous value. And then you are displaying, which is displayed here. But this is not an example of a static method. This is an example of a static variable. The example of static method is given on the previous slide. I just showed you already. So now, what is Java static block? What is block in Java? Yes. There is no Java static is needed. Okay, I'm not asking. I'm asking the block. Okay, simply block. But your definition is okay. Just starting curly bracket, ending bracket, and then you can write any number of statements between them. This is a normal block. If you want to write a static block, then you have to write the static keyword as you are seeing. Okay. Static block is different, normal block is different. In normal block, you don't have the static keyword. In static block, you have the keyword static. How? Like here. So this is the class A2 starting from here, ending here. And here you are, this is the starting bracket. This is the ending bracket, curly bracket. And here you have the word static only. When you have the word static, then this is a block, but now it is a static block. And you can write any number of statements between here and here. We have only one statement, which is doing what? System.out.println static block is invoked. So this will be displayed whenever it will execute. After that, we have the main method starting here, ending here, and we are just displaying hello main. So when you will run your program, what will happen? If you have a static block, that static block will execute before your main method. This is the difference. This is the difference. So when you will run your program, if you have a static block in your source code, in your program, that static block are fields, variables, that will be executed before your main method. Before your main method. So that's why you are seeing when you will run your program, it will see into the source code of your program, it will find the static block in your class. So it will execute it. That's why you are seeing static block is invoked. And it is executing before the main method. And when all the static blocks will be executed, after that, it will go into your main method and it will execute this statement, hello main. Hello main. So this is the normal. But if you have a static method, that will not execute before the main method. Static method is a different thing. Static method will be executed with the name of the class. But static fields and static blocks will be executed before the main method. Before the main method. Java nested classes. From the course of programming fundamental, you know that how to write nested loops. How to write nested loops. What is nested loops? Loop inside loop. It is called nested loop. Just a minute, I have to clear my throat. So, nested classes. So, as you saw the nested loops before in the course of programming fundamental, here when you see this keyword nested classes, it means that you have a class inside another class. And we will see this topic in the next CO, and the next CO is about inheritance. And then there you will see how you can use a class inside and another class. Now, the word this and maybe the other word is super, maybe somewhere. We will see. So now we are going to see this keyword, which is this. How you can use this keyword in different ways. Basically, this THIS, this word is called reference variable. Is called reference variable. Or in other word, this THIS word will give reference to the object of a class. What is its use? Its use is it will give reference to the object of a class. It will give reference to the object of a class. What kind of object? The current object. You will see. But as a definition, you can say that this keyword THIS will give reference to the object of the class. You can use this statement as a definition. For example, if you will write this THIS keyword, it will give you the reference to the object. And what is object? Which will contain state and behavior. This is the definition of object. You saw in the chapter 1 or maybe in the beginning of this chapter. And in how many different ways you can use this keyword? You can use this keyword to refer to the current class instance variable, which means object. You can use this keyword to refer to the object of the class. This is its meaning. You can use this keyword to call a current class method. So you can use this keyword to call a method from the class. You can use this keyword to call a constructor from the class. You can use this keyword to pass as an argument in a method. If there is a method in your class, you can use this keyword as an argument into that method. You can use this keyword as an argument in the constructor. Constructors can also take arguments. Methods can also take arguments. You can use this keyword to return an object from a method. From a method. Constructor do not have the return type, but methods normally have the return type. So you can use this keyword in the return type of a method. And when you will use this keyword, it will return what? It will return an object of the class. So these are the 6 different uses, and we will see them one by one. For example, here, to refer to a current class instance variable. To refer to a current class instance variable. So now we are going to see that how this keyword will give reference to a object. To a object. Let's see what will happen. What is the use? The use is written here that if there is a ambiguity, if there is a confusion between the instance variable, which is object, and the parameters, our instance variable means you can say these fields, which you can access through object, which you can access. So that's why I'm using this word object. Otherwise, instance variable means these fields which are available in this class. These are called instance variables. And parameter is something that you are passing into as an argument into a method. So if there is ambiguity between the fields and the parameter, this keyword is used to remove that ambiguity. The example is here. We have the class student. We have these fields, roll number, name, and fee. Okay, these are the fields of this class. Then, okay, this program will do what? It will take the values of roll number, name, and fee for a student, and then it will display. This program will do what? It will take the value of roll number, name, and fee for a student, and then it will display those values. Okay, here we have a constructor, and we are just passing int roll number, comma, string name, and float fee, the same name that we used here. We are using the same name for the parameters. And these are the names for these instance variables or fields. And here we are using the same name for these parameters. Here it was said parameters. This is instance variable. This is parameter. And now we are using the same name for the parameters and the instance variables. And then what? We are assigning this value, this roll number, which is this one, to this roll number, which is this one. This name, which is this one, and this name is that one. This fee is this one, and this fee on the left-hand side is this one, okay? But here the name are same, so it will be a confusion. It is a confusion for us, and it is also a confusion for the compiler, because you are using the same name. And then compiler will not know that which value it has to assign here on the left-hand side, because the name of the variables are same. Names of the parameters and the names of the instance variables are same. So this is called ambiguity. This is called ambiguity. If there is ambiguity between the instance variable and parameter, then this keyword you can use to resolve this ambiguity, problem of ambiguity. Anyhow, then we have the display method, which will display the value of roll number, name, and fee. And here, and then class is ended, and we have another class starting from here, ending here, the main method. And here we are creating an object, S1. And we are calling a constructor with these three values, 111, Ankit, and 500. F is for float. F is for float, that we are passing a float value. So then 5000.00, something like that. Okay, now this will be called, and this 111 will be copied here into this roll number. Ankit will be copied here into this name, and 5000 will be copied into this fee. And now this roll number will come here, and 111, and then 111 will copy here into this roll number. Now the compiler will confuse, because this is the roll number. This is on the left-hand side, you have the same variable. On the right-hand side, you have the same variable. Compiler is confused. This is called ambiguity. So if you want to remove this ambiguity, you can use the THIS keyword here, and here. Then the compiler will understand these roll number, name, and fee on the left-hand side as a instance variables, and the roll number, name, and fee on the right-hand side as the variable names that you are passing here. But here the compiler is confused because both sides are the same, so it will not assign any value. It will not assign any value because the left hand side and the right hand side is same. It will not assign any value which you are passing here, but due to this object creation statement, okay, this object will be created with the default values of these fields. What is the default value for integer? 0. What is the default value for string? Null. And then you are creating another statement object with 112 submit 6000. Okay, again it will have the same problem, and again this S2 will have the default values. And when you used S1.display, it will display the default values which are available in this S1, which is what? This display method will be called default value for roll number, which is 0, that will be displayed. Default value for the name, which is null for string, that will be displayed. And fee 0.0, that will be displayed for S1. And similarly for S2. But if you will use this T keyword here, this is the same code again, but here we are using this THIS keyword here. And THIS keyword here, THIS keyword here. If you will use this keyword here, you will get your values properly. Because now the compiler will understand that this right-hand side is the variables which you are used in these parameter list. And this roll number, name, and fee are the fields. And this THIS keyword give reference to the object of the class. So now here you are calling the constructor. Okay, this is the constructor and this is the object, S1. So now these values will go here and it will be stored, and the reference will be, and this THIS keyword will give you the reference of this object, S1. So that means now these values will be stored, and you can access, or you can say these values will be stored in the field of this object. Anyhow, now there is another statement that if the local variable and the instance variable is what? These are the instance variables: roll number, name, fee. And local variable is what? If I introduce a variable maybe here, maybe after the display. If the local variables and the instance variables are different, for example, here in this student class, these are the local variables which you are passing as an argument to this student constructor. And this roll number, name, and fee with the keyword THIS, these are the instance variable and these are the local variables. If the local variables and instance variables are different, if you will use different names here, then there is no need to use this THIS keyword, because then the right-hand side and the left-hand side would be different. And the compiler will be able to identify which is the local variable and which is the instance variable. This is written here. For example, here, if you have int r, string n, and float f, and if you just replace this constructor with this one, that will be perfect. Now here you have the local variables, the parameters with different names, r, n, and f, and then you are assigning this r to the roll number, n to the name. And so now this roll number, name, fee would be these fields, and the right hand side is different. There is no confusion for the compiler. Everything will be okay.
So we did not use these dots.
Yeah, now you don't have to use this. Yeah. Yes. Now, in this case, you don't have to use this THIS keyword. Using this word to call a method from the class. So you can use this word to call a method from the class. For example, here I'm going directly to save my time. So class, if class is A starting, okay, where it is ending? Here. And then we have another class, test this 4, starting and ending here. This program is simply displaying the message hello N and hello M, nothing else, okay? But how, we will see. It will use this concept, the word this, to call a class method. So, okay, we have this class, void M, and here we are printing the message hello M. So this is a method. M is a method. Then we have another method, N, starting, ending here. First, we are just displaying a message, hello M, and then we are calling this.m. So we are calling this M method here in this N method, and we are using this this keyword. So this will definitely call this method, which is outside this method. Okay, now this is ended. Another class, main method, starting and it is ending here. And here we are creating A, which is the name of this class, capital A, and then the small a, which is the name of the object, is equal to new A. So this is a statement for object creation, but here on the right hand side, we are calling a constructor. And this constructor is not available here in this class, so compiler will automatically create it for you. And it will do what? It will initialize the values of the variables. If you have, we don't have any variables, so you don't have to take the tension. Anyhow, so now the object is created. So with this object A, you can access the information which is available in this class A. You can access the methods, fields, or whatever. So now here I am calling A.n. So this n is a method available in this A. So now you can access, okay, this will be called. When it will be called, when it will be invoked or called is the same thing, okay? Invoke or call is the same word. You can use the word call, you can use the word invoke. So when it will, A.n, when this method will be invoked, okay, then first it is the statement hello n, so that hello n will be printed first. And then after that, this dot m, this will give reference to the object. What object? This object, which you are using here. Okay. So it means a dot m. It means a dot m. You are calling a method through that a. Here you are calling a dot n when this THIS keyword gives reference to the object. Which object? Current object. What is current object? This A you are using. This is the current object that you are using. Yes. Yeah, it will not confuse. So here, basically it means A dot, basically it means A dot. This keyword means. Or you can remove this dot because dot is already there. So A dot M. So you are basically calling this M method. Like A dot N here. Like A dot N here. So okay, then this will be called. This method will be called and hello M will be printed, which you can see here as an output. So this keyword can invoke the method of a current class. And here we are invoking the method M and N by using this keyword. Okay, you can call or invoke. If you don't use this keyword, compiler automatically add this keyword while invoking the method. This sentence has some other meaning. For example, here you can see class A, M, N, and in the N method, you have the M method, then it's ended. And here you are calling in the main method, you are new A. You can use an object or you can just use the name of the class to call a method. This is also a way to call a method. New A, which is a constructor. So memory for the object will be created, but we don't have any name for the object, but memory for the object is created. And then dot N, you are calling this N method. And in this N method, you are calling this M method, but you don't have this keyword THIS here. And what this sentence is saying that if you don't have this keyword, if you do not use this keyword, compiler automatically add this keyword. Like here you are seeing on the right hand side. Here M is empty, but here THIS dot M. So compiler will automatically add this. If you will not write that, you will not see any error. The compiler will automatically add that keyword there. Okay.
You need the right PHs that can define
in other class. In other. Yeah. Yeah. THS is a word to refer to the object, not to the file. Okay. THS keyword always gives you reference to the current object. Current means whatever the object recently you used in the previous step, that is your current object. THIS now to invoke a current class constructor. So you can use this keyword to call a constructor. You can use this keyword to call a constructor of a class. How? Let's see. Here you have a class A starting and it is ending here. Then you have another class starting and ending here. In this program, you will see that how you can call a constructor of a class using this THIS keyword. Here it is a constructor and it is printing hello A, okay, and then we have another constructor with one argument, with one parameter, because the name of the method is same as the name of the class, so that's why I'm calling it constructor. So A int X, which is one argument, going as a, you can say input into it, and then starting of this method. And here we are calling THS and then the parenthesis. This parenthesis always means that you are calling some method. But this THIS give reference to an object. And when you have this object here, then this is not a call to a method, but this is a call to the THIS gives you reference of the current object, not class. THIS gives you the reference to the current object. And that object you will get from here, when the main will be executed. So that small a would be the type, has the type A. So this is a, so you can replace that, the name of the object here, A and then parenthesis, which is a constructor, which is a constructor. Capital A, you can say, or small a, which has the type capital A, the name of the class. When you have parenthesis, it is a call with the THIS keyword. When you have these parentheses, it is a call to method or constructor. It is a call to method or constructor. And this one here is a call to something, to call to, so this will give reference to object. That object would be A and it has type capital A, okay. So capital A with empty parenthesis is a default constructor basically. So you are calling this default constructor here in this statement. In this statement. When you will call, hello A will be printed, and which you can see here. And then system.out.println, and then you are simply printing the value of X that you passed here as an argument. Now see this class test5 main method, and here A, capital A, which is the name of the class, and small a object, and then new A into 10. So A into 10. So you are calling a constructor this A into 10, X is passed into 10 is passed into this X. Now X has the 10 value. Here you are calling this constructor, this one, hello A will be printed. And after that, you are printing the value of X that is 10, which is displayed here. So this is an example that how you can call a constructor using this keyword. So this constructor, THS with parenthesis, constructor call can be used to invoke the current class constructor, which we are calling it. Calling default constructor from parameterized constructor on right-hand side. So this is a constructor, parameterized constructor, because we are passing one argument into it, and then we are calling a default constructor. So for this is an example. And for this, calling parameterized constructor from default constructor, we will see now. Is it visible, or I should have to make it a little bit large? Is it visible to you? Some people are saying no.
Slightly.
How much time is left? 5 minutes? Okay. 2 slides are remaining. And after this, you have a quiz in the next week. In the next week, you have a quiz on the very first class. Whatever the day, I don't know. I will announce it again. But first, I want to finish it. So class students, you have roll number, name, course. You can define multiple variables in one line by introducing comma between them. So these are 2 variables, not only 1 variable. So roll number, name, course, fee. So these are now the fields. The program will simply take the values and then it will then display. Okay, so this is the class student starting here and ending here. And then you have the class test 7 starting here, ending here. You know that when you will run this program, the compiler will search for the main method. So it will search the main method in this class 7. Main method is there and it will execute the main method first. Okay, now here we are creating an object for the student class, and this is the student class, and this S1 will be created, but with the values here, we are calling a constructor with 3 parameters. So, okay, we will go into the student class. We will find the constructor with 3 parameters. This is 1, 2, and 3. And the data type is first integers, then 2 strings, integer, string, string. Okay, matching. So it will execute. And it will assign this roll number into this name. Due to this THIS keyword, now this is different. Compiler will understand that these are the fields and these are the arguments, local variables. So now these values will be assigned and stored in S1. And similarly, for this one, student S2, new student, here we are passing 4 values. So the call to the constructor with 4 values, this is a call with the 4 values. So this will be called, and here we are calling, so calling current class constructor. calling current class constructor. So here we are calling a constructor with 3 values. Due to this keyword TIHS, I know that this is an object. I know that this is an object due to this keyword. So this object is this one S2, and which has the type student. So it is basically student into roll number, name, course. So this constructor with 3 values will be called with this statement, and then the values will be assigned. Whatever the value will. So now these 3 values, roll number, name, course, we are dealing here, and this one is left. So this dot fee, which is the field here, and then this fee we are assigning. So all 4 values are now assigned, and those values are available in this S2, which we are displaying using the display method, which is available here. And when you will display S1.display, okay, the 3 values, 111 Ankit Java, and we don't have the 4th values for this S1, so you will have the 0, the default value displayed. And similarly for S2, we have the 4 values, and you can see those 4 values will be displayed here. I went a little bit fast, but it's easy to understand, not difficult. I know. So now the slide is also the last one. And after that, it is finished. Okay. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th. What I'm saying, this one, 4th, 5th, and 6th use of THIS word. We can use the THIS constructor call can be used to invoke the current class constructor. We know that. Oh, sorry. 4, we can use this keyword as an argument in the method. You can see here, this is the M method, and here we are passing an object as an argument into this method. So this is an object, and it has the type S2, which is the name of the class. So this is an object we are passing. And then THIS keyword to pass an argument in the constructor call. So I have written here, do it yourself, and their examples are mentioned here. These are not the complete program, just the relevant, the things which are relevant, only those things are mentioned. Here, this is a constructor call, but we are passing this THIS word as an argument. So this is a constructor call, but we are passing this THIS as an argument. Here, this M is a method, but we are passing this as an argument. This is for this 4. This is for this 5th. And here, last one, you can see this is a keyword, and here we are returning from the method. We are returning this object as a return type of the method. So these are the 3 cases here mentioned. And next, inshallah, you will have the quiz. And chapter 2.